Hi there. My name is Don Liu. I hold the Neag Endowed Chair in Literacy and Technology here at the University of Connecticut and direct the New Literacies Research Lab. We do work in new literacies in school classrooms, K-12, here in the U.S. anyway, from about ages 5 through 18 internationally. And so the issue then is, what are these new literacies and why are they so important? Well, I guess the take we make on this is that the internet is really a literacy issue. Using information, reading and writing and communicating and so forth is really a literacy issue. And we see these as new literacies that are somewhat different from traditional reading and writing skills because new tools, new technologies, new social practices are all involved in them. And in addition to that, it's not just that they're new today, they're new every single day of our lives because things keep changing on the internet. And this notion of change is central to our work, both in the theories we've been developing as well as in the research and in the instructional practices that we have. It's a real challenge from a theoretical and research point of view, for example, that the thing that we study keeps changing on us. That is, literacy today is different from what it's going to be tomorrow because there'll be a new tool, a new technology that'll be available for us for reading and writing. Okay, so what are these new literacies? Well, to us, these new literacies are the skills, the strategies, the social practices, the dispositions that are required to use online information effectively to learn. Now, there are many different definitions of what new literacies are, but to us, we're concerned about learning and we're concerned about preparing our youngsters for these skills, strategies, social practices, and dispositions that will enable them to use online information to learn new things about the world around them. We focus on one particular aspect of new literacies in what we refer to as online research and comprehension. And what we mean by that is students' ability to conduct independent and collaborative research to learn new things on the internet. We see it as comprised of several different elements: locating skills, evaluating skills, evaluating the reliability of information that you find on the internet, synthesizing skills or putting together information from multiple sources, and then communication skills, which includes all kinds of new technologies that are required to pick people's brains, see what they know, look for ideas, and then also finally to communicate what you've learned with other people. So we've been spending the last 5 years developing a performance-based assessment on a large federal research grant called Online Research and Comprehension Assessment, or ORCAS. And so we've developed about 24 different ORCAS, performance-based assessments that give students a problem to solve online, and then we evaluate their ability at every step of the way. It takes place in a simulation of the internet with a search engine and web pages and wikis and emails. And it's driven by an avatar that texts messages into the student to sort of direct them and ask them different questions and engage them in the research project and so forth. So anyway, we've developed these assessments that are highly reliable and valid, and but they're also performance-based. They're not multiple choice, and so they actually ask students to do a research project. And now we're looking at a lot of the data we've collected in 2 states, a laptop state, Maine, and a non-laptop state, and evaluating students' abilities in this area. So let me talk a little bit about school leadership in this area. It's probably one of the most important areas as we think about the changing nature of literacy and learning in school classrooms with the internet. For several reasons. First of all, everything we know about the research on school leadership is that school leaders drive change. That is, change doesn't happen unless there's a school leader with a vision for the change that's needed. So school leaders have to have this vision. They have to understand what's going on in the changing nature of things. But it's also constrained right now, at least in the U.S., by Common Core state standards. Because you can look at those Common Core state standards with the lens to the past that most of us have, and only see what we've been doing in school classrooms. Or you can look at Common Core state standards. Few people are starting to look at it with a lens to the future and understanding each of those standards in terms of what it really means to learn and communicate and read and write in online context. So let me give you an example of what I mean by a lens of the past and a lens of the future. So the first anchor standard is close reading. That is, we want our kids, I'm going to summarize it here, we want our kids to be able to read carefully, closely with information, but also to make inferences about the information that they encounter. So traditionally we've taught that in reading comprehension through discussion, through levels of comprehension questions and so forth. And that's one way of implementing close reading, but with a lens to the past. But if you take a lens to the future, you would see that reading search engine results is really one of the best examples of close reading, because there kids have to read, make it very carefully, make inferences about what those short little segments are telling them about the information they're going to find behind that link, and make an inference about whether or not that source is the best source for them given their particular needs. So to me, close reading really involves helping students read carefully and make inferences about search engine results so that they can be more efficient when they're trying to locate information. And that's what we have to do as we look at these Common Core State Standards. Each one of them can be looked at with a lens of the past or the lens of the future. And it's really important that all of us look at those standards with a lens to the future and think about, how does this Common Core State Standard really play itself out when we're reading and learning and communicating online? And that's a real key as we think about leadership. If you can see that, then you're in a position to really help your teachers and help your students prepare for their future.